Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you and excited to share the news with you, folks. The news keeps getting better, folks. Look at that. I had that on in the background again. Why do I do that? Anyways, you beautiful patriots, I love you all, but we are in the greatest news cycle of all time. Truly the greatest news cycle of all time right now. It's happening. And do me a favor, smash that like button, chat in with where you're from. I think this is the moment it all went wrong for these glorious fools. The moment they decided that Donald Trump should be getting a mugshot, he should be getting arrested. And now, folks, Charles Brennan is literally freaking out. Okay, or not Charles, John Brennan, sorry. John Brennan is literally freaking out right now. I've got the video to show you on that. Also, ICE has had over 80,000 applicants. Rachel Maddow is losing her crap, and the whole redistricting battle is getting even crazier. But you want to see something else great that just happened? That's right, big balls. Edward Korestein, aka Big Balls, deserves an award for heroism. He took on 8 thugs at once to stop them from assaulting a woman. If this ends with a federal takeover in D.C., he's an even bigger hero. By the way, Trump has a special announcement today at 4:30. What do you think that announcement is? Let me see in the chat. I'm curious if you guys, I think I know what it is based upon this post. Put a medal on him. But this guy, remember when they were concerned about this guy having our data? Yet the government's had our data all this time, and they were concerned about this guy? Look at this. A guy who takes on 8 thugs attacking an elderly woman. Do you guys think that you would trust him with your data over the other fools in the government? Do you guys think that you might trust him more than the government? I mean, than our current the people that were in the government that told us we shouldn't trust this guy. Okay? So, yeah. Exactly. I think that we're going to see DC changes after this. And I think that's what the announcement's going to be about. I could be wrong. But I think that's what it's going to be. Really cool that this guy did this. Yeah, put a medal on him. Have a special thing at the White House just for him. Give him an award. Seriously. Okay, guys, check this out. Gavin Newsome. So DC Drano and some others had all posted about, blue states with 0 Republican seats. So Gavin Newsome had gone on and done this. He says, oh, cool, I can do that too. Red states with 0 Dem House seats. Okay. Folks, I want you to look. Do you know what the total number of seats would be in these states right here? Total number of seats in Congress. Well, Wyoming's got 1, South Dakota's got 1, North Dakota's got 1. I think Alaska's got 1. So how are you going to redistrict those? How are you going to do that? West Virginia, Montana, I believe, is it 2 or 3 in Montana? Idaho is 2 or 3. Nebraska is 2. Utah, I don't know how many Utah's got. Iowa's got a decent number, but Iowa's just conservative. My gosh. Arkansas, Oklahoma. Okay, so then with 1, this is with 0 Democrat House seats. The guy's an idiot. Gavin Newsom's an idiot. Can you all agree that Gavin Newsom is a complete moron? Okay. Now, check this out. Dealing with redistricting, the Texas Supreme Court has now ordered the runaway ringleader of the derelict Democrats to respond to my lawsuit by Friday. Ken Paxton's going after him. Even John Cornyn's going after him. I think we're going to see some arrests there. That would be really exciting to me to see those fools in Texas. I think they know where they're hiding out. I think that's going to happen. But, folks, maybe I'm going to share with you literally the greatest video on the internet right now. Okay. This is the greatest video on the internet. It's John Brennan. It's a side-by-side of him, and you're going to absolutely love it. But before I share this video, I do want to mention my sponsor really quickly, and that's Birch Gold. Did you guys see the show yesterday I did with Phil Patrick? I did not realize that in the last 6 months, the banks around the world have bought more gold than in any other 6-month period in the history of the world. Central banks are on a gold buying binge. Now, I'm not your financial advisor, but gold has done very well for me, as has silver, which is double what I bought it for. Okay. I'm just telling you, folks, I'm a believer in this stuff. You can get physical gold and silver from Birch Gold. You can even convert an existing IRA or 401k into physical, tangible gold or silver. So get your free info kit by texting the word lumberjack to 989898. There's no obligation, just useful information at Birch Gold. So check that out. But here we go. The greatest video on the internet, folks. Get ready. I want to get your comments on that. You tell me. You look at this. So we're going to see a video of him recently. Then we're going to see a video of what he said some years ago. So I want you to pay close attention to this. And we're going to go into a little piece on John Brennan. But this is so awesome. I hope you catch what's going on here.
And the intelligence community assessment that we wrote back then, that the analysts wrote.
Okay, look, July 3rd, 31st, 2025. And for those of you who are into body language, he's already had dry mouth. Have you caught that in the video? So just chat it up with the different things you see. I'm going to rewind this, but watch. He's got dry mouth. You can see this. He is nervous as all get out.
And the intelligence community assessment that we wrote back then, that the analysts wrote, said that we didn't have.
Did you catch the dry mouth? Did you catch that? How he's. I'm telling you, this guy is so nervous.
Any information whatsoever about what the impact was on the election. That intelligence community assessment never mentioned the word collusion. Mm-mm. Not at all. So what they do is they misrepresent the facts, mischaracterize what is said, and then claim that we were engaged in this big conspiracy.
See, there it was again. You can see the dry mouth again. Did you guys catch that? This guy is so freaking nervous right now because he's got to watch his words, because what he did right there was lie. And I'm going to show you, because you're going to see it here in just a second on a later MSNBC clip from 2019. But John Brennan, let me ask you guys a question. Do you not think that John Brennan is the most pious, pompous scum there is? In fact, here, I'm going to show you something really wild. Well, let me see. I'll do this after the video. If you do an image search for John Brennan, just look at the pictures of him. He is so pompous. He thought he was above the law. He thoroughly thought he was above the law. He thought he could lie and get away with it forever.
Well, as Simone pointed out, President Obama told us, make sure you don't do anything at all that is going to any way affect the outcome of that election.
How many of you, seriously, President Obama told us not to do anything in any way that might affect the outcome of that election. How many of you believe that's true? How many of you believe what he is saying is true there? Just throws that in.
Don't do anything, and make sure that you don't get these reports released that named individuals had American citizens' names in them. And so we did our utmost to make sure that we carried out our responsibilities with the integrity that we're supposed to.
The amount of information that relates to collusion and obstruction activity is really quite extensive.
He just told us that we invented the collusion narrative. This is him in 2019 calling into MSNBC. I'm going to slide that back. Listen to his words. Okay. He just told us we invented all that, and he never used the word collusion.
That relates to collusion and obstruction activity is really quite extensive in this report. I think by anyone's account, you can identify all the things that were going on between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and interactions and meetings with Russians. It was quite I think, enlightening.
Wow, quite enlightening. Collusion. This is creating further leftist meltdowns. I want to show you my favorite of late, which is Rachel Maddow. This from just the other day. While that's going on, I'm going to bring up and get ready to bring in another important piece to this show.
And, listen, You can narrow or widen the aperture as much as you want. You can look at the very big picture or the small local picture anywhere in the country. And we try to do as much of both of those things as we can every week here on this show. But whether you're looking at small-scale local stories or the biggest picture stories about what's happening in our country, the story is the same, and it is now an undeniable thing. We have crossed a line. We are in a place we did not want to be, but we are there.
Whoa. Because I don't know, this might be different from my audience. How many of you have crossed the line where you want to be? She's telling us we've all crossed the line where we don't want to be. I feel we've crossed the line to where we want to be. I have never been happier with my vote as a president than I am in Donald Trump's second term. He went soft on him in his first term. Then, bring you back to that mugshot photo I shared at the beginning. That's where they screwed it all up. And now look at what's taking place. I am 100% excited about this quote-unquote line we've crossed where we're actually bringing to justice the people that have been hosing us over for years. And she's acting like this is terrible. Like we've got a dictator. How many, does anybody out there, do you feel more or less free now than you did in the previous 4 years under Biden? More or less free?
The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming, it is here. We are in it. This is what it likes, it turns out. This is what it's like, right? It's August, it's a Monday, every day the sun rises and the sun sets, and there are, sports and movies, and there are new hit songs, there are scandals here and there are crimes. There's everybody's personal quotient of family drama and health worries and money worries and falling in and out of love and in and out of faith. Life has not stopped, and none of our personal lives have stopped. But also at the same time, life in the United States is profoundly changing, is profoundly different than it was even 6 months ago.
Amen. It sure is, people. We have had zero releases into our country from the southern border for 3 freaking consecutive months. Yeah, things are very different.
Because we do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. Okay.
I can't listen to her anymore. I really should let it play on, but it's just too much. I watched it once. Sorry, audience. I can't. If you wanted to see the rest of it, you have to go find it somewhere. I just can't listen to her anymore because she's talking about Donald Trump being the authoritarian leader. Then she's going to go on about, people abducting people on the street. She's talking about ICE, which, by the way, check this out.
Recruitment efforts to hire 10,000 new ICE officers has been extremely successful. Lawrence, as of today, we have over 80,000 applicants for those 10,000 positions already.
Over 80,000 applicants for the 10,000 positions. Over 80,000 applicants for the 10,000 positions. Okay, this would be exactly the opposite of the Minneapolis Police Department, where they're probably sitting on 300 to 400 open positions and they can't get enough applicants. So they're hiring schmucks. They're not going to be hiring schmucks at ICE. These are going to be former military, law enforcement, special operators who are excited about getting criminal illegals out of our country. This is awesome.
Ready. People and patriots across this country that say, we want to join, we want to help and be a part of this effort. It's overwhelming to see the amount of response and support that our ICE officers have gotten and people who want to join their ranks.
That is awesome. Folks, you've got to give a hand clap for that in the chat. Now, check this out. Bo Hunt said something. I think she is a he, pretty good Adam's apple. I'm going to prove to you right now that Rachel Maddow not only is not a he, but actually used to be kind of pretty. Rachel Maddow, high school yearbook. Folks, check this out. One of my listeners shared this with me. Here she is. This is unbelievable. Like, hold on. I got to add this in. Share screen. And here she is. This is Rachel Manow. She used to have long hair. She used to look like this is unreal to me. One of my listeners shared this because I thought I thought maybe she was I don't know, like maybe she wasn't really a gal. And she actually, I mean, look at that. She wore pearls. And this is crazy. This is the woke mind virus at work, folks. This is what it does. This is what it does to you. Here's what she used to look like. It's unreal. All right, back on to John Brennan. Isn't that crazy? Can you believe that? That was like TDS has real problems. Okay. People, this is bad stuff. All right. So here's why John Brennan's so freaking out. Last month, CIA Director John Radcliffe released a report on the origins of the intelligence community assessment and concluded that Russia had interfered in the 2016 election to Donald Trump. It was more or less as one might have expected. One of the things we learned, however, was that Brennan claimed in 2017, by the way, that actually isn't what the report said. I need to correct the record on that. It was just that Russia was involved in interfering with the elections, as are all these other foreign nations, because they have an interest. It was not to help Donald Trump. That has come out as well. One of the things we learned, however, was that Brennan claimed in 2017 testimony before Congress that the Steele dossier, an Oppo research doc paid for by Hillary Clinton and Democrats, wasn't in any way used as a basis for the intelligence community assessment. In a 2023 House interview, Brennan claimed the CIA was very much opposed to having any reference or inclusion of the Steele dossier in the intelligence community assessment. The problem is that the newly declassified CIA emails show Brennan not only repeatedly pressing for insertion of the Steele dossier's claim, but doing it over the objections of others. In one 2016 email, Brennan allegedly disregarded warnings from his deputy that the dossier would undermine the credibility of the entire paper. When two CIA Mission Center leaders responsible for Russia challenged him about integrating a poorly constructed partisan document into the intelligence community assessment, Brennan overruled them, insisting, "My bottom line is that I believe that the information warrants inclusion in the report." Okay, so this is why he's freaking out so bad, folks. This is why that video I showed you earlier shows you just exactly what's going on here. He has lied at every step of this. John Brennan is the ultimate liar. You know, he's the former head of CIA, spies. He was part of the 51 spies that lie. In fact, speaking of the Hunter Biden laptop, let's watch this little gem. Okay. Nicole Wallace. I'm telling you what, folks, Nicole Wallace, it is worth watching this. I mean, she's pathetic, but it is worth watching this to see how badly they lied. And if you wonder why your grandma can't get over the fact that Trump must have colluded with Russia and that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, even though we know it wasn't, it was verified. Check this out. This is why they're still watching this crap.
We shouldn't look at it as anything other than a Russian disinformation operation. But
I'm sorry, I said CNN. She's MSNBC. I think I made an error there.
Even if you're open to it, the substance of it is still the story of Joe Biden loving his son as he struggled. And only Joe Biden looks good in hacked text messages. I mean, if anyone read some of what came out, they were messages to his son who was in rehab. And I think there are probably not a lot of people who look good in stolen communications that they have with a family member that are then peddled, as you said, by Rudy Giuliani. It's a Russian op. It doesn't work, and it's actually damaging.
This is so nuts. This is so freaking nuts. This is like comedy. She's literally telling you that Joe Biden looked good in the Hunter Biden laptop. The father who raised this son, who continued to support him with dollars while taking the majority of the dollars that Hunter Biden brought in, this is insane.
To Donald Trump. We shouldn't look at it.
All they have, folks, is hatred for Donald Trump. It's the only thing they've got. It's the only thing they've got. This is insanity. Let's go back to this redistricting here just for a moment. I want to share this video. And it's quite entertaining because listen to Slotkin here.
Going to urge and encourage blue states like a California or a Chicago or a Illinois, to do the same thing. I don't want to do that. I want the country to have a completely nonpartisan drawing of the lines based on the census.
Oh, whoa. A lot to unpack there. Wait, first off, do you honestly believe that Alyssa Slotkin from Michigan, Senator from Michigan, wants nonpartisan lines? Or does she want lines that favor Democrats? Question number one, you can answer that in the chat. Number two, based upon the census, you mean the census that was miscounted that shorted Republicans 5 seats? You think it should be based on that census? Okay, if you don't know about that, it is a fact that the last census was miscounted and misappropriated 5 seats to the Democrats. Where Florida and Texas should have been gaining, they did not. Where California should have been losing, they did not, and so on. So I want it based upon the census, the false census. Let's get that right first off, Alyssa. False census. Secondly, this is why they wanted illegals pouring over the border these years so that they could create inflated census numbers in blue districts. So again, complete lies.
But if they're going to do that and go nuclear, so am I.
Oh, if they're going to do that and go nuclear, so am I. And what states did she just propose that they go nuclear in? States like Illinois and California. Now, here's the problem. I'm going to share with you. This was interesting to me that this even made it. So here you go. This is Stephen Cobar, and he asked Governor Pritzker about Illinois' very gerrymandered congressional districts. It's like the stinger on a scorpion down here. Now, I would wager if I play too many seconds of this at a time that, Cobar is going to say that I'm, stealing their stupid, precious stuff. So I'm going to have to stop this every once in a while. But I want you just to get this. He's holding up a map of Illinois.
Easy districts in Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at 17 here. It does that.
Okay, yeah. So here's District 17. You can see it climbs all over and then goes all over. So it starts way down here and goes like this. And there, gerrymandering Illinois. Oh, I get it. Okay. Let's skip ahead just a little bit. Okay, so he's showing that. But look at here. Here's the District 13, and he's talking about this one. That's the stinger on the scorpion, he says. So, but watch Pritzker's response.
Up there. It's like the stinger on a scorpion down here. Is
So now he's going to ask Pritzker the question.
this common for all states to do?
Well, we handed it over to a kindergarten class and let them decide.
And that's funny. Okay, he's getting presented with the map of the gerrymandered Illinois, and he jokes that we handed it over to a kindergarten class. First off, that's not what happened. Okay, he's making light of something. It's completely not true. They have people analyzing numbers by zip codes, every street, determining who votes which way so they can eke out margins of victories for Democrats. No kindergarten could do that. Okay, so they're threatening to gerrymander Illinois. They're threatening to gerrymander California. Texas doesn't have anything like this. Folks, Texas, which is a reliably conservative state, what is the mix on Texas's seats? Here, we're going to find out for you right now. Dems versus Repub House seats in Texas. Let's see. They're talking about picking up 5 House seats. They could easily gerrymander this to pick up more if they wanted to down in Texas. Boy, that's a number here. This isn't working. Okay, let's see. Here we go. There is currently, anybody else can look this up, throw it in the chat too, how each district voted. I mean, some of these districts were plus 50 for Trump on the margin of victory. Anybody else finding this? Because it is not coming up. I'm going to let somebody else find it. But it's like 20 some, 30 some, something in that realm on Texas House seats. So it not nearly gerrymandered enough if we're going to go the California model or the Maryland model. Okay. So, and then they joke about it being, please, this is insanity. So I got another one for you here. I want to share another video. Oh, guys, you want to see this? Check this out. This is so awesome. Trump winning on trade in a major way. Look at this.
Comparing the numbers from June to May, we did see the trade deficit shrink about 16% down to $60 billion from the month prior. So we've seen those trade numbers continue to go down as they have tried to see the trade field level between multiple other countries. We're still waiting for the official White House reaction to this trade data that came out about 15 minutes ago. We're also looking to see how the markets may react to it. But the trade deficit shrinking from June compared to the month of May, down 16%, down to $60 billion.
So trade deficits shrinking drastically due to Trump's tariffs. All the experts proven wrong again. Here, you guys want to see, this is maybe the most awesome thing, though, that has been done of late. Check this out.
Program that would require some travelers from all around the world to pay up to $15,000 just to enter the U.S. The policy is aimed at cracking down on countries with high visa overstay rates.
So, if you guys didn't know, there's a big problem here with visa overstays. So they get a visa, they come here, and then they overstay their visa. So now the people from these countries are going to have to pay 15 grand up front just for the privilege to come to America. It's absolutely a fantastic idea. And this is how you stop these illegal immigrants from coming in on visas and then overstaying their visas and living the good life in America off of you, the American taxpayer. Let's put this back up so you can hear the full report.
Joining me now to talk about this is Jonathan Fahey. He's former acting ICE director and former DHS deputy assistant secretary. Jonathan, as always, great to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So this is essentially a bond program. What they're talking about doing is if somebody comes into the U.S. on a visa, they put down up to $15,000. And then if they leave the country when they're supposed to, according to that visa, they get the money back. What do you think about this idea?
This is a great program for a couple of reasons. First of all, about 40 to 50% of the illegal aliens in this country are people that overstayed their visas. And there are certain countries that have very high visa overstay rates. So this program is to address those particular countries. The other part of it is also a national security and a public safety issue because certain countries don't do a very good job vetting people for visas or doing other things to cooperate with us on national security and border security. So this will encourage their compliance. It will also discourage people from trying to remain in the country, gaming the system like many of them were doing during the Biden administration. Just once they came in on a visa, basically, essentially became de facto citizens because the Biden administration had no interest in deporting virtually anybody. So all of these are good reasons to do this. And remember, this doesn't apply to a lot of countries. 41 countries are what's called the visa waiver program, which means you just simply have to have a passport. So if you're one of those countries, it doesn't affect you whatsoever.
And the State Department actually just talked about this a few moments ago. Take a listen to Tammy Bruce. We'll get your thoughts on the other side.
Beginning August 20th, nationals of Malawi and Zambia applying for B1, B2 business and tourist visas will be required to post a bond of up to $15,000. This targeted common sense measure reinforces the administration's commitment to U.S. immigration law while deterring visa overstays.
Jonathan, looking at the bigger picture here with countries all around the world, is there any worry that this could maybe depress tourism and some of the revenue that comes with it if people say, hey, I don't want to have to put up thousands of dollars just to enter the U.S.?
Yeah, that's one of the criticisms of this program is it will depress tourism, discourage people, because if they have to come up with $15K just to go in, a lot of people don't have that. But what the Trump administration is doing and what they've been doing entirely during the entire administration is they're always putting public safety and national security first. So they'd rather take that risk and have public safety and national security and prevent illegal immigration over maybe a small tourism dent.
To program.
Okay, that's fascinating. I mean, they're talking about tourism dollars. So let's take, for example, I don't know, I haven't looked up all the countries on the list, but let's just say, I'm guessing Afghanistan did make the list of 41 countries. Mexico probably didn't make the list of 41 countries. Venezuela probably didn't make the list of 41 countries. Do you honestly think that there's just a ton of people from these countries coming here and spending tourism dollars? Or what about some of the, India is probably on the list, okay, because they have a strong chance of overstaying their visas. So do you see that, from these, some of them, many of them third world countries, do you see a big tourism deficit coming as a result of this policy? I mean, come on. Let's get real here. This is so ridiculous. I did find the numbers on Texas finally. The Texas delegation consists of 38 members, 25 Republicans, 12 Democrats, and 1 vacancy. Let's compare that to California, where there is only a total of 9 Republican seats out of 60-some seats. So let's compare that to Illinois. Let's compare that to Maryland, where there is no Republican seats in Maryland. So really? I mean, we're going to talk about gerrymandering, and the Democrats are going to threaten us with gerrymandering these blue states that are already highly gerrymandered. They don't have a lot of room to go. So now we could actually see Republican states fighting back and giving proper representation in Congress. So this is wild. So this is, folks, it's just constant winning. Again, Brennan is freaking out. If you just joined the stream, you got to go back to the beginning. Check that video out with Brennan. Again, go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call 1-800-568-2865. Thank you for posting that, Michelle C. Go support Mike Lindell. He's been doing the Lord's work. I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.